everybody, and welcome back to the Mobile Notary Network. I just want to take a few minutes and talk about why you should never assume. You know, it was one of the biggest statements that one of my greatest mentors ever made to me. And I just remember him looking me in the face and he said, "Steve, never assume ever." And I can tell you, unfortunately, about the hundreds of times that statement kind of punched me in the face and made me think, never assume, never ever assume. And so that's what's brought me to this video, to tell you, as a mobile notary in business, is that we have everything in place to help us be accurate, to help us be on point, and to help us avoid mistakes, delays, and especially additional costs. Now, the key to the follow-up to never assume is really never assume what, because that's where this answer lies, in the details. And it's in the details of everything that you do every day. And depending on, I know where I started with my standards and what I thought was good and great and what I thought was detailed and was professional and was going to the next level. I know what I thought it was. I know what I think it is now. And I think it's came a long way. And I hope I challenge you to reflect back and say, where were my standards? Where are my standards? And in what areas have they improved in as I've came forward, obviously through life. And that goes the same for your business. Is you want to sit back and say, what have I done just okay? What has gotten better? And how can I spread that betterness, those higher standards, into different areas of my business, my company, into my life? Because I do believe that if your standards are better and they're improving, that you should marry them into everything that you do. How to stay on schedule, how to be efficient, how to be on top of everything, how to not let things pile up. And throughout all these processes, you want to kind of comb through them and say, what has caused me trouble? What have I assumed that later told me otherwise, that I had to correct through spending more time or obviously investing more money? If if you're a notary and you show up at the wrong location and you have to drive out to a different location that's another 20 or 30 minutes further, one of the most painful never assumes is showing up to a signing appointment, sitting down with the documents, and finding out that you have the wrong docs, finding out that there are errors on the docs, finding out that the documents are cut off. Another assumption would be receiving a confirmation for a job, not confirming the order soon enough. And if you have a company that, say, you work for, and they allow you to kind of manage, your own thing and confirm your own appointments, and you attempt to confirm it, say 4 hours out or the night before for a morning appointment, and one of the last things you find out is that you've never had an accurate number. You didn't realize that the people were out of town, they're on vacation, and that's obviously something that could have been worked out well in advance. And that goes the same for documents. That goes the same for showing up to the wrong location. Is if you know what you need to verify, because you would never assume, right? When you get an order, you never assume that it's the date, the time, or the location are 100% correct, which is what would give you that incentive to call right away. Say, I've got an order, hang up, let me call the borrower, because I want to make sure that this is on track. And I know if you get a signing 7 days out or 14 days out, we feel that we have a grace period to, I'll call a few days before. I do find, because I've received orders of every degree, whether they're 2 hours out or 2 weeks out, that it's just so important to call immediately to confirm the date. Sir, I was just calling to confirm that we're signing on the 21st at 3 p.m. at this address. Is that correct? You're going to find out, the 80% of the time that it is correct. It's that 20%, that 10%, that 5% that is going to actually save you and your clients time and money. especially if they have to redraw docs, if they have to plan to close on a different date, if you have to send an order back, and of course open up that spot on your calendar. That's important to you. That's more efficient for you. That allows you to run a better schedule and not block something up. You know, if you're getting multiple orders for 6 p.m. next Wednesday, and you basically have that order that is going to vanish once you call and find out that the borrowers are out of town, or that they don't live in Los Angeles, they live in Michigan, and that signing gets transferred to another state. The sooner you can figure out that appointment needs to be removed from your calendar, the better. When it comes to receiving your documents, you know, you got to skim through them. Never assume, never assume. I can say this 1,000 times because I've been through it 1,000 times. Is never assume that the Johnson's docs are what they sent you. Never assume that it's a complete set with title docs, with escrow docs, with lender docs, with attorney docs. You know, whatever the client is, whatever you know, whatever hopefully I can share with you in the near future as to what a complete set of docs looks like, or what you should assume a set of docs looks like. The other thing is, speaking of what we assume a set of docs should look like, there's going to be times your client, the lender, the title company, they send you a set of docs and they assumed that it was an accurate set. You print, you get there, you go, you sign everything, and a couple days later they say, oops, we forgot 10 pages. The more you assume, the more you cover yourself, the more isolated those situations will become for you. Because if you're eliminating your mistakes and your errors, and you're covering your assumptions by making sure that everything's accurate, you're basically going to whittle it down to just having to deal with assumptions, poor assumptions from your clients by saying, and again, nobody does this on purpose. Everybody makes mistakes, especially when everybody starts to get busy and loans start to process and work starts to pour through. It's not that everybody obviously doesn't care about their work, but you know, we sometimes believe that we do check. There are times where document packages go through eyes and eyes and eyes, and you can probably count 10 sets of eyes that a package goes through, and yet still makes it to the signing table incomplete, with an error, with a problem. So again, that's where you try to take a grip of it, and you review your docs, you check the name, you check the names on the deeds, you make sure that the names on the lender docs match the names on the escrow docs, and then that those names match the docs on the attorney docs if it's an attorney state. But you know, it's just take responsibility for being as diligent as you can by reviewing and combing through everything that you're about to do, knowing, maybe asking in advance. You know, we all assume there's a parking spot. If we're signing at somebody's home, what do you assume? There's a parking spot for me. Never assume it. Maybe every time you call, you say, hey, okay, so we're all set. Is there anywhere you recommend I park? You're going to find out some very interesting answers. I heard somebody on the phone yesterday say, yes, the notary can come, but I hope they have a 4-wheel drive vehicle because our driveway's steep and it's snowed in. They had to change the signing location because of it. So again, that's actually a very simple assumption to say, they have a home, I'm sure I can park there. Not in this home. It was, you know, in the middle of winter, driveway steep, and there's snow all over it. The signer says, I hope the notary has a 4-wheel drive vehicle. So again, you know, just very simple things. You have to sometimes create the detail. I will definitely cover as much detail as I can moving forward, but know your process, know what you're doing, know where you're going, and verify, verify, verify. The more you learn, the more you do, the more you'll understand what to verify. But again, just start from the beginning, take it to the very end, and be as thorough as possible. I'll leave you one more note because this is one that happens too. Don't assume the shipping label's right. Don't assume you have a shipping label. Just assume that you will check that the shipping label, where it's going, matches the package and it's going into the right box, and that it's gonna go out that day. All right, you hand a package off. Sir, do you know if this is going out tonight? Don't assume it will. Ask. that person will shock you sometimes and say, you know what, our UPS guy came an hour early, it already went out, they'll make it out tomorrow. That'll at least give you a chance to shoot over to the next facility that has a later pickup time, or go to the actual hub and drop it there. That obviously would be a huge favor to your clients. So anyways, just wanted to cover that for a few minutes. Never assume, figure out how to know your process, improve everything within it, and it's all in the details. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Mobile Notary Network, and I will always haunt you to please visit Notary Professionals of America. Look around, have a read. There's much more information there that can help you, that can just offer reassurance and support to everything that hopefully you're working on in 2017. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.